Welcome back to part 6 of the Anode Filters Refining series. This is the metal that we had precipitated out on zinc, and it went back into solution, so we're going to add a little bit of hydrochloric acid, and now I'm going to put in a few pieces of zinc here, get that reaction started. Now we're going to turn our attention to our precious metals in this solution. I'm going to do a stannous test, and you'll see that we haven't lost any metal. It's all still in solution here. This is pulling through the filter okay now. Now that I've diluted the solution down and deconcentrated the oxalic acid that was in here. I don't think the gold has gone back into solution here, but what we're going to do is get a little bit of our solution, put it in a spot plate, and now what I'll do is add a few crystals of the ferrous sulfate to see if it reacts. Looks like the gold went back into solution. I'm going to grab some of this solution in a little beaker. Here's our sample that we just drew up out of our main solution. I'm going to add some stump out to this and see what happens. There it is. We've got gold in that solution, it looks like. Based on these two tests, the ferrous sulfate and the SMB, looks like we've got gold in solution. So we're right back where we started. This reminds me of my first stock pot refining series. This is the main beaker with the filters in it, and there were some traces of gold under there, and I can't make out whether or not there's anything in there now or not, but I'm going to go ahead and capture all these solids in our filter. Here you can see there's some kind of blue precipitate that's formed in the beaker, and it's coming out of the it's being filtered out of the solution. But the solution down here looks nice and clear. I think there might be a few crumbs of gold down in the bottom of this beaker here. We're going to get everything Yeah, there is. See that down in there? There's some little bit of gold there. Look at that. Look at that. It's a little lump of gold right there. They're precipitated out with the oxalic acid. I think what we'll do is try to get this into a separate container. Keep it separate from the rest of the material we're working on. It's gold. I can tell it's gold. Rinse the junk off of it. It's definitely gold. Look at that, man. How about that? After all this failure, I still end up with a piece of gold, man. That's all right. We'll take it, man. Look at that gold. Now, there's some more gold down in the bottom down there, man. Gee, look at that. So, got a little bit more gold than we initially thought. All right, I'm going to collect this in here. Look at that pretty gold. How about that? So we did get some gold out of here with the oxalic acid. Should be fairly pure. Look at that, man. Nice. We'll take it. All right, in accordance with this SMB test, definitely got some gold left in the solution here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to add this solution now to a clean 4-liter beaker. This is the solution that we just filtered off. I don't see a whole bunch of junk down in the bottom of our flask. That's a good sign. Got a little bit of cloudiness in there when we lifted that filter up. That's okay. I'm not worried about this. I'm going to try to get our gold out of here. All right, here we go. We're going to precipitate out the gold here. I'm going to add our test in here. That should create a little bit of precipitate for us. Wow. Here's the beaker that we did our test in. You can see it's purple. Purple is the color of gold. So now let's add us a spoon of stump out here, see if we get some more gold to drop out of here. Amazing. Here we go. Spoon of SMB going in. Looks like quite a bit of gold, actually. Unbelievable. This is more comforting to me, seeing something like this. This is what I'm used to seeing. Now what we'll do is when I lifted this funnel off of here, it allowed the filter to move up. It allowed some of the junk that we're filtering out to pass through the filter. So now we're going to refilter this out of this bottle here. You can see it's got some precipitate down on the bottom. We'll just pour it back through this filter now. Yeah, now that this filter's loaded up, you should be able to trap all that precipitate and get it out of there. Alright, what a difference a day makes. I replaced all the vacuum lines on my vacuum system, and that thing's working fantastic again for me. It was vacuuming real slow, and it wouldn't pull a good vacuum. So here's our solution. I'm going to add it right into our beaker here with our gold in it. Things are looking much better today. I don't feel like retiring from refining. Get a little bit of excitement back now that things are starting to go our way. Alright, this thing here, it had a plug of oxalic acid in the stem, and it worked its way through overnight. As you can see, I've got some gold down in there. I'm not going to add this to our main beaker. I'm just going to put this in my stock pot and be done with it. Here we've got some pretty decent amount of gold. Well, maybe we'll melt this up into a button. And then in our filter here, we've got some solids in there. That brown is probably gold. I can kind of see it glittering. But there's some green precipitate in there, probably copper. So what we'll do is we'll just add this to the paper storage. Take a look at the silver cell. Today is day 5. Here's our electrical readings, 1.4 amps, 3.5 volts. Let's take a look down in here and see what this looks like now. Oh yeah, look at that, man. Look at that. That is just fantastic. High purity silver crystal. Give this a stir so that the electrolyte is mixed well inside the cell. Now what we'll do is I've got some impure silver shot. Let's go ahead and refill our anode basket. Allowed our solution to sit for a couple hours, and all the gold is settled out of it. So now what we're going to try to do is recover that gold in a filter. I've got a specially prepared filter here so we can capture all the gold particles without any of it getting past the filter paper. Here we go. Oh yeah, look at that gold down in there. Let's see here. Here we go. All right, we've got that flask full. Let's trade these out now. I'm going to transfer this solution into a clean beaker. Running out of room. All right, here's a look at our gold finally. Looks pretty good, man. That's a little more than I was expecting up in there. That's with the SMB drop. So now we're going to get it down into this filter. That's a respectable amount of gold, way more than I was expecting. Way more than I was expecting. This came out of the silver cell anode filters. Unbelievable. I'll take it. Alright, I'm feeling a lot better now because I've got some gold in this funnel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this clean beaker here. Notice that the funnel stays clean because of that filter, that style of filter we used. Here's the gold we dropped with the oxalic acid. Man, it looks very pure, but here goes nothing. I'm going to put everything right in this beaker here. I'm adding some hydrochloric acid, about 100 milliliters or so. Now what we'll do is cover this up, and we're going to stick it up on the heat. I'm going to redissolve this gold a second time. While I'm waiting for that gold to start heating up in the hydrochloric acid, we're going to add our solutions to this big beaker in the back here. Going to reach back in here and get some of this solution on a filter paper. Let's do a quick stannous test here. It's got a very faint stain, looks like, for platinum. Let's see. Let's bring this solution up front. And I think the only way to get the metal out of this solution is to just keep adding some pieces of zinc This is going to take a long time for this to cement out because it's a highly dilute solution of platinum group metals. Platinum group metals do not like to cement out of a dilute solution. We're just going to have to give this one some time. Here we go. We're going to set this back out of the way and bring this and get it out of the way. And now we're going to turn our attention over here to this gold. And what I'm going to do is add some sulfuric acid to precipitate out any lead that may be present. I'm going to add in a couple of shots of nitric acid, and we're going to start dissolving this gold in here. About 6 milliliters or so should do it. Got a rolling boil going here. I think we've got all the gold dissolved. What we'll do is just pull this down and let this cool off here. Alright, we allowed the solution to cool off, and I've added a couple of ice cubes. So now what we're going to do is filter our solution here. Okay, we've got everything filtered out of there now. Let's get this filter out of the way. And I'm going to transfer our solution to a clean beaker. Nice and clear. Let's see if we can knock this out in one take. Let's get our camera down here close. And what we'll do is I've got some stump out here. We're going to add a spoon of stump out and precipitate out our pure gold. Here we go. First spoon. Look at that. Just add little chromes at a time. It's awesome. Alright, here goes the full spoon. I'm going to add one more, and I think that'll do it for this. I'm just going to add half a spoon, about that much. And I think that's going to do it for us. If you look down the bottom of that beaker, it's got a little bit of gold. It's very difficult to get out. And so this beaker up here on the heat also had a little bit of that. So I've added some hydrochloric acid. Now I'm going to put a squirt of nitric acid in here to form aqua regia, and what will happen is any traces of gold that were in those containers will dissolve. Here's my favorite funnel. It's got some gold stains in it, and I'm not even going to try to wipe them out. I mean, this was the oxalic acid funnel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit this right down into our aqua regia solution. We're going to add some heat. We're going to boil that and try to get that gold out of my favorite funnel. Alright, this has been in here boiling for about 10 minutes or so. And we're going to take the funnel out now. You can see it's nice and clean. And we're going to set that down here out of the way. Just rinse that off with some water. And now we'll transfer this solution into this other beaker that's got a little bit of gold in it. And this aqua regia will dissolve that gold out for us. Got another little funnel here that's got some gold in it, and it's going to be hard to clean it out and save it, so I'm just going to stick it in here and subject it to the same treatment to get the gold out of there. You can see the solution here is suspending, and it's got some color to it still. Let's get a quick status test on this. It's been settling for a couple hours, but it's suspending, which tells me that we've got some platinum group metals present, but all the gold's been precipitated as per that status test. I've got the my favorite little funnel back now, and I've got a fitted filter down in here. So we're going to get the gold out of this beaker now into this filter paper. All right, here comes the prize. Here's our gold. It's going to be contaminated with some platinum group metals, but at least we can get a yield on what we recovered from the anode filters. That solution is going to have a little bit of gold in it. We'll just add that to the stock pot. Got the gold down in our filter here. So now what we're going to do is bring it over here, and we're going to add this gold to the melt dish, filter paper and all, and then we're going to start melting it. First I'm going to add some borax, just a little borax to kind of glue the paper in there, and then I'm going to fire up the torch. Here we go. And I'm going to go put my mask on. All right, we boiled this in a little bit of dilute sulfuric acid to get all the flux off. Here's our little gold button, yielded from the silver cell anode filters. What happens is when I do my gold refining and I inquart the gold, some of the gold goes over into the silver jar, and then when we cement the silver out, that gold will follow the silver, and then we put the impure silver shot into our anode filters, and the gold accumulates over time there. Let's see what we got for a weight on this. 9 grams. Not bad for a little yield of probably 990 gold here. It's going to be contaminated, probably have a little bit of platinum group metals in it. And I got my three-tip stamp on there, only I didn't make the S. It just says retips. But you'll be able to tell that it came from this video. Alright, this will conclude part 6 of the silver cell anode filters refining video. Thank you for watching.